Well, I literally just got done recording a video with a good friend of the channel, David Spurrier. And as soon as we stopped recording, I was going to get up, stretch a little, check my phone. My mom's blowing my phone up. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I've got one of those very split political families. My dad, Republican. My mother-in-law and that side through my wife's family, Republican. But my mom and most of my family on my mom's side, like my grandpa, my mom's dad, probably still considers himself a Democrat to an extent because they were old Democrats, like from back in the Southern Democrat, basically. He grew up after FDR and was taught from his parents how FDR saved the lower and middle class in the Great Depression, and all the jobs programs that FDR did that really impacted that community. So FDR was like a hero to a lot of people in this area of the world, and so that carried over to my mom. She considered herself a Democrat, and for God knows why she was cheering on Joe Biden no matter what I tried to tell her about Joe Biden. Anyway, Joe Biden has been declared the winner of the presidential election. Looking at the map, I know he was somewhere around I think it was 284. I think they've officially declared that he is the winner in Pennsylvania. Nope, they've given him 290. So, okay. They've actually declared Nevada now as well. So, yeah, Joe Biden is getting 290, and Georgia's still leaning blue with 99% reporting. Adding that extra 16 is just say they declare that for Biden. He's going to come out to around 306 electoral votes. So they're declaring it for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, they're saying, will be the 46th president of the United States. Guess what's going on right now? Rudy Giuliani is holding a press conference as I'm speaking, making this video, declaring that the Trump campaign is not conceding the election to Joe Biden. What's the reason that they're giving? As if it's been a surprise, a lot of the things I've been naming in my last few videos is exactly what I was sitting here listening to him side off before I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and record this. He's citing off the facts that Trump had substantial leads in certain areas and Biden just was able to close the gap, but it took a couple of days. Again, so what's he getting at? Some states were counting the mail-in ballots as they came, and others, no, we'll count them after everybody comes out and votes, and then we'll count the mail-in ballots. Again, creating that doubt on how many mail-in ballots were there or anything manufactured. He even flat out gave the implication these could be manufactured ballots, and that they're not allowing people in the room to check in Pennsylvania and stuff to see these ballots. He cited off how in the past there was like someone from the Democrat and the Republican, and they were right there, and they're looking at the ballots, and if they both agree, okay, it goes in this stack. If they disagree, it goes in this one. Okay, so they're already making the argument that I said was going to be made. And it's not like I'm trying to take some credit that I'm a genius. It's just I've got that much common sense. I knew this was coming. So without a doubt, the news media is telling everyone now, as if it was a big shocker, Joe Biden is now elected the president of the United States. He is president-elect. And the sitting president, the incumbent, is not conceding the election, and he's going to take it to the courts, and he's going to fight it. Let me just demonstrate what's coming. The headbutting contest has begun. We will be divided. We will be going at each other's throats. And I'm just talking about Trump and Biden. I'm talking about their bases, the right and the left. The contest has begun. Now it's going to the courts. The Supreme Court, or whichever court handles this and whoever makes the final decision, needs to understand. I think it goes to the Court of Appeals first or something, right? whoever makes the final call on this needs to understand one thing. Our country and our way of life and our civility, what little tiny bit of it we have left, could seriously be depending on your actions. If you rule in Biden's favor, the right wing will still be pissed off. And there's still going to be a cloud hanging over this entire election. Okay? It could seriously be hanging over this entire thing. Okay? And that was my phone going off on that live stream video, by the way. But your actions could seriously make or break us as a society. If you go for Biden, right wing will be pissed, and there's always going to be, like I was explaining, there's always going to be that cloud hanging that how legitimate was this election. If you overturn it and go back to Trump, now it looks like Republicans have stolen the election again because there's been so many right-wing judges appointed to the court. Amy Coney Barrett just got ran through at the last minute. And if it goes back to the Republicans, I'm sure there were a lot of those mail-in ballots that were legitimate from people. And they're going to say, okay, so you're attacking us. You're attacking us. That produces no good outcome. So as I've been saying for the last couple of days, and David Spurrier actually threw a little nuance at it, and I'm completely fine with this. All the states that were not called on election night and took, a day or so to call their results. So I would say Alaska, even though I don't think that's a close contest, but they've taken days to call the results. So throw them in there just for fairness. Alaska, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. Take them all. Restart the election in those states. From top to bottom. President, Senate, House, dog catcher, everything that was on the ballot in those elections. Restart it all. And toss out the mail-in voting, except for people who have to vote through absentee ballot because they cannot be there. Require that to be done. And if you want to go vote, polling stations need to set up for COVID purposes, social distancing, blah, blah, blah. Have the masks. Keep plenty of Lysol and wipes. Keep these areas clean. Restart the voting, and people go out and vote. They need to do that. And if they do that, and the numbers stay the same, we have our answer. Don't argue about it. We did it the way it's been done before. And if the answer comes out the same, let it go. If, on the other hand, the result looks a lot different in either direction, but I don't think you would get more Biden votes that way. If by some chance Biden becomes a loser in some of these states, then guess what? Now there needs to be an investigation on what was going on with these mail-in ballots. And furthermore than that, dispel all this conspiracy talk about stuff going on behind hidden windows and closed doors where you can't see how they're counting the ballots. Nope. Federal court needs to rule that there will be people in the room. Screw the COVID mess. If you're too scared to count because there's someone there watching, you put somebody else in there to count. People need to be there to observe these ballots counted properly. Make it happen. Handle it the right way. And then the American people can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this happened the way it should have. And that could possibly dispel some of this. That ain't guaranteed. But nonetheless, right now, the press and the news are saying Joe Biden is the winner. He will be the 46th president of the United States. Trump is doing exactly as expected and saying, nope, something's afoot here and I'm not conceding this election. The news media is going to turn this into Trump is going to try to be a dictator and not leave office. When in actuality, he thinks what a lot of other people think, and that is there was some BS afoot right now. And we are getting dangerously close, if this outcome is not done properly, to entering into really, really bad times. And sometimes I make jokes on the channel. I was actually thinking about doing another one of my Joe Biden videos. I probably still will at some point, but I'm not going to be doing it today because what is happening is a little too serious right now. And there's a time for the comedy, there's a time for the jokes, there's a time to be serious. What's taking place, this is serious. And the comedy and the jokes can come at a later time. But people need to start getting prepared for the final final wave of the brown wave, because she's coming in hot and it could get really bad really quick.